Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, you're welcome to this beautiful evening setting of sharing and caring in Krishna consciousness. So today we intend to discuss how to make our community, this is a big community here, and how to make our devotees feel better with each other by their interactions with the sadhus who come, the gurus, and of course it boils down to also family relationship, because the family is a microcosm of our communities. So we'd like to take a verse from the Gita that will steer us ahead. So fundamentally, what I'm choosing is the Gita, popular Gita text 434. Which is on how to approach, or the need to approach a spiritual master. Krishna expresses his concern for the living entity in this text by bringing to bear that as human beings, are willing to work on some guidance. If even someone, for instance, is very intelligent, if someone, for instance, if it's a new Einstein, he still needs to work, if he wants to go and get his PhD, he still needs to work under a supervisor or an instructor. So in the spiritual culture also, we are always advantaged by the fact that we have people to guide us. And so in our big communities, we have the guru, we have sadhus who come and they guide us. And beyond that, the sadhus come, they don't stay with us for a long time. They don't stay with us for a long time. They come briefly and then they leave. Then we have to digest whatever we have been able to receive, assimilate that, and that goes on to nourish us. So, the bottom line is that we need some guidance. So I'm taking this verse from the Gita, Bhagavad Gita 4:34. Tad vidi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadishyant te jnanam jnanina tatprasdachinana. Tad vidi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadishyant te jnanam jnaninas tatprasdachinana. So we just read the translation. Translation of Purport by His Divine Grace, H.H Bhakti Vasudev Swami Maharaj. Just trying to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. Please kindly respond to repeat. Just try to learn the truth.
Just try to learn the truth.
By approaching a spiritual master.
By approaching a spiritual master.
Inquire from him submissively.
Inquire from him submissively.
And render service unto him.
Render service unto him.
The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you. Because they have seen the truth.
Because they have seen the truth.
So we read the purport. Then we see what to be able to share amongst ourselves. So please kindly respond, listen with attention. This purport are the essence of our learning process of the Bhakti cult. The path of spiritual realization is undoubtedly difficult. This is the first sentence. The very first statement. The very first statement in Prabhupada's purport is that the path of spiritual realization is undoubtedly difficult. The Lord therefore advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from the Lord Himself. No one can be a bona fide spiritual master without following this principle of disciplic succession. The Lord is the original spiritual master, and a person in the disciplic succession can convey the message of the Lord as it is to his disciples. No one can be spiritually realized by manufacturing his own process, as is the fashion of the foolish pretenders. The Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 3, Text 9 says, Dharmatu Saksha Bhagavad Pranita. The path of religion is directly enunciated by the Lord. Therefore, mental speculation or dry arguments cannot help lead one to the right path. Nor by independent study of books of knowledge can one progress in spiritual life. One has to approach a bona fide spiritual master to receive the knowledge. Such a spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender. And one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant without false prestige. Satisfaction of the self-realized spiritual master is the secret of advancement in spiritual life. Inquiries and submission constitute the proper combination of spiritual understanding. Unless there is submission and service, inquiries from the learned spiritual master will not be effective. One must be able to pass the test of the spiritual master, and when he sees the genuine desire of the disciple, he automatically blesses the disciple with genuine spiritual understanding. In this verse, both blind following and absurd inquiries are condemned. Not only should one hear submissively from the spiritual master, but one must also get a clear understanding from him in submission and service and inquiries. A bona fide spiritual master is by nature very kind toward the disciple. Therefore, when the student is submissive and is always ready to render service, the reciprocation of knowledge and inquiries becomes perfect. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Janasya Sakso Vikante Tasman Se Guru Vinta Chaitanya all this time start to Swayam Guru Vedanta start Rani Sri Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna Amam Vishnu Hare Krishna Vishnu Praise Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaste Saraswati Gaurava Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, this verse is giving us an insight on what constitutes a relationship between the spiritual master and the disciple. It is a very serious relationship. It's a relationship that is eternal. It's not like, you're my wife today and then we divorce tomorrow. Or, you're my son, I did something bad to you and you sack me. It happens. So, I remember when I was in Mauritius, so one devotee was telling me how he had approached Bhakti Vasudev Swami that he wants him to be his spiritual master. So, in response, he told him that it's a very serious relationship. I have to study you and you study me. So, the point is, some cases, we see the relationship as a fashion, but it is not. It is outside, completely beyond the fashion and design industry. It's outside of that. It's a very serious relationship. It's not like a boyfriend and a girlfriend, and tomorrow you see one boy, you are attracted to him, or tomorrow you see one girl attracted to him, and then you jump to that. No, it's not like that. Once the contract has been signed, it is already consolidated. And therefore, the understanding should be that, yes, we need some guidance. And what is our responsibility? I remember I was in Chicago for the Biblical Parade, and so one devotee, he took me in his car. As we were coming back, he said, Maharaj, can I ask you a question? I said, yes. So he said, the relationship between the guru and the disciple. So I said, yes, tell me, what is it? He said, the guru suffers for the disciple. He said, yes, he suffers for the disciple, but on what basis? He said, the guru is so merciful that he suffers for the disciple. I said, but he suffers for the disciple, so what? He said, the guru is very merciful. I said, yes, we know the guru is very merciful. So he continues to suffer for the disciple. The disciple may do anything and he just... I said, no. It's not like that. It's not that you use the guru as a facade for committing all type of crimes or offenses or outbreaks. So I've signed a contract. I have a guru who will suffer for me. It's not like that. And therefore, we have to be able to be very cautious about the relationship. So yes, we have a commitment. My Prabhupada is mentioning the purport here. We have to be submissive. We have to be submissive. We are signing a contract. We should figure out what is my commitment. When we are taking initiation, we take a vow for the rest of my life. Is it not? Is it not? We say for the rest of my life. We'll follow these four principles for the rest of my life. We'll chant still out for the rest of my life. Therefore, we should remember the day we took initiation and not create, in the airplane. When the plane is going to a turbulent area, the pilot says, he puts on the sign, sit, buckle the seatbelt. Yes, sir. But what is a turbulent area? And if we don't simply want to cause some trouble to ourselves and to our spiritual master, we should buckle our belts, buckle up our seatbelts. And if we don't know how to do that, we should take inquiries from the crew. Is it not? Because in the airplane, the crew, the crew should demonstrate on the screen. They will demonstrate, this is how to buckle your belts, and this is how to pull it out. But you're not supposed to pull out your belt when you're flying. Ideally, you should just need to buckle. So how do we buckle up in Krishna consciousness and not create turbulence, not give ourselves turbulence? It's coming together to reinforce ourselves in the process of Krishna consciousness. When we hear, or we repeatedly hear, like it is mentioned in the Bhagavatam, that by regularly hearing this Srimad Bhagavatam, all of the anantas will become completely, eradicated. I mean, do we believe that? Do we believe it? We may hear something, but do we believe that? So, the idea is that the whole of this process of Krishna consciousness is about what? To create love in our communities. Going back to God, that is in the future when we leave these bodies. But the immediate concern is to create awareness of the fact that we have to love each other. If we love someone, we will go to the battle to try to nail the person on the cross. Will we do that? If you love somebody, will you go to the battle to try to nail him on the cross? You know what it means? Nail someone on the cross. A devotee means what? One who is dedicating his life to the process of devotion. And therefore, the spiritual master has like a whole field of activities. The disciples have a whole field of activities. But when they come, it's our duty to render some service. And you see, if you serve someone, it means like, if someone gives you something, are you married? Okay. Who is not married yet? Boy or girl who is not married? Okay. So if for instance, a girl comes to give you have iPhone? You have iPhone? Okay, suppose a girl, has flown in from New York, and you know her. You're a classmate, and she brought you iPhone, the latest one. What does that mean to you? Huh? Huh? Nice gift. No, but what does it mean? What is the implication of that? It means that you have been propositioned. Nothing is free, okay? So, in a similar way, if we serve the spiritual master very nicely, he becomes committed to help us. This is the point, okay? If we serve him nicely, he becomes committed to help us. If we make humble, submissive inquiries and serve the spiritual master nicely, no. If you are even your child, suppose you have a child, maybe a teenager, you want to go to work and then the teenager comes, or daddy, or mommy, your shoes, there's some, can I clean the shoes for you before you go out? This is very natural way to express one's love for another person or for a parent. So here you come, you're not asking, hey mommy, when you go, before you come back, get me this type of sweet, get me this type of candy. The child comes, mommy, can I help you clean the shoes? The shoes seems to be dirty. That beats your imagination and binds you over. When you go out, you'll be thinking, well, how shall I repay this kid? What shall I do? Let me give him or her a surprise. That is how service and relationship works. You see, Krishna mentioned render service, and we're just trying to give some insight about what service, the emotions that service can create, the bond and the bonding that service can create. What makes you think that a number of people, they are married, their wives are very good cooks, they give them good self-gratification, they can't give up the family life to become singers? Is the bonding that is created in service attitude, in submission and service attitude? Oh yeah. I have, one of my friends, who's over 70, and he's a retired, nuclear chemistry professor. The wife is a very strong devotee. He's a very strong devotee. And he will actually move out to go and help people with his professional qualification, with his high dedication in devotional life. But no, he doesn't even think about that. If you remind him then it's like, why are you worrying? Yeah, we're no kids. So this is also due to the service. The service, the bonding that comes from service. Therefore, when Krishna mentions here, we have to render service to the spiritual master, it creates a bonding. A loving relationship that the person who receives the service becomes committed to them. So the brahmacharis who live in the temple, they should be careful about whom they receive service from. Krishna mentions here service. And you know what? For the ladies, young ladies, if you marry a man, you marry a young man, if you want to put a man, that person in your purse, you know? Be submissive, you render a very nice service. And you see that anything you say, yes. So, the bottom line is that the idea of service it has a psychological bonding. If we don't serve, we don't create that bond. This is the point. If we don't serve, we don't create that bond. So Krishna mentions here, we have to render service. We have to be submissive. We have to be inquisitive. If we are rendering service, basically, the person who is receiving the service will ask, what can I do for you? What boon can I give to you? This is what Lord Vishnu does all the time when he meets his devotee who has been in meditation and he comes before the devotee to bless the devotee. Yes, what boon can I give you? That is because of the service. The Lord is bound over by the service attitude. So you come voluntarily. Yes, I want to help you. What can I do for you? But if the spiritual master is not there, do we render service to other people? Yes. If the sadhu is not there, do we render service to other people? Yes. Why? Because it creates bonding. Devotional bonding, loving bonding relationship. And in our communities, especially, you see, we are talking about loving devotional service to Krishna. What about his devotees? What about the devotees in the Indian community? Now, one way to be able to see that you are fitting into that community of devotees is that one weekend you are able to leave your house and go to spend the weekend with your devotee friend, another family. Now, in a number of our communities, we don't have that type of strong bonding, and it's creating fragmentations in our everyday realities. And therefore, idea of service, idea of submissive inquiries, also has to be something that is ongoing. Even when the sadhu is not there, even when the spiritual master is physically not there, is gone to his other, service areas. Doesn't stay here all the time. The spiritual masters come, they just come for some brief period, and then they leave. Therefore, we have to sustain that relationship in our communities. Now, if you read the Bhagavatam, you will hear the case of this Brahmana who learned from everything that he saw, he met. He learned from the earth, he learned from mountains, he learned from the tree. Because learning itself is a lifelong process. No one can say, I am fully replete with information culture. I'm full with spiritual devotional culture. The more you are being replenished with spiritual energy, spiritual devotional energies, the more you yearn for it. Therefore, the more we will be willing to receive, to hear, even from our own child. Our own child is giving a class, we want to go and listen because what is about Krishna? And even from your own child, You can learn so much from children. Your own kids, you can learn, even from toddlers, you can learn so much from toddlers. Toddlers can even be used as an instrument by the spiritual master, by Krishna, to instruct us. I remember the case of a lady who had Maryland for some university program. And then this white lady, she was telling me a story after the program, how when she's initiated, how when she gave birth, to her first child, she abandoned chanting for a long time. And then one day, this little girl was creeping. He went to one corner of the house, or the sitting room, puts her hand inside some, like a dungeon place, and brings out something that is the mother's chanting beat and bag. And then she again crept. He went to hook the mother, had the leg, and then, got up, and then turned the beads and the bag to her. So she said, "What? This one is not the child." He said, "It's my guru and Krishna telling me, hey, get up, it's time to chant now." And she started chanting from that day. So even our own kids, we can learn something from. Therefore, we shouldn't wait until when we have the guru comes before we come to the temple. This is the bottom line. This is the point. We shouldn't wait. Just like we can learn from a toddler, we shouldn't wait. We can learn from anyone about the very intricate process of Krishna consciousness. Except we want to learn. I repeat, learning fundamentally is a lifelong process. It has, materially speaking, the breadth and length and height of learning is difficult to measure. Because it is a construct. It is a psychological construct. Learning is a psychological construct. Therefore, we can measure the breadth, length, width, and depth with some physical instrument. And so just like Krishna is unlimited, knowledge about Krishna is also unlimited. And anyone can just come up to remind us something very, very intricate that will stimulate us. And Krishna can use anyone. Krishna is in the heart of each and every one. Ishvara Sava Bhutana, read the sea, Arjuna Tistit. He's in the heart of everyone. So he could use anyone to inspire us. So why we will not come to the programs? Just because some sadhu is not there, just because the person is not there, everyone that gives a class, we can always learn something from that person. And the way to sustain our spiritual enthusiasm is this spiritual reinforcement, this Krishna Katha. Some things we may even neglect, but when we get to hear from someone, it's like Krishna pricking us. And therefore, our communities are sustained by the devotional energy of hearing and sharing in Krishna consciousness. Sharing is one of those fundamental pivots of love that we can ever think of. If someone says, "I love you," and can't even share something with you, either even whether they are difficulties or their joy, then what? That is not a confidential relationship. And therefore, this Bhagavad Gita is an emanation from Lord Krishna. And therefore, we have to understand that this is a confidential knowledge, like Lord Krishna mentioned in the Gita. And so, if anyone is being used as an instrument to reiterate the point that Krishna has made in the Gita, to transmit that information, why should we stay behind? The more we come to hear about Krishna consciousness, the more we come together to reinforce ourselves on this process, the more our devotional culture will become sustainable. sustainability of our devotional culture is based on the principle of hearing and sharing. As soon as we neglect that, very soon we become weak. Or we become even fried. So, yes, we have to try to cultivate this very favorable wind of appreciating satsang. Don't wait until Swami comes before you come to the program. Don't wait until the Guru comes before you come to the program. And in some countries I've been to, it's so wet that, people don't come to some companies, people don't come to the temple. Only when the day that the Guru comes, they give a clap, then they come. It means we don't understand what is devotional participation. I mean, just like the mother learn something from the toddler, we can always learn something from him. Whether it's a child, whether it's an old person, we can always learn something. And that's what is important. We have to come together. This is one family, Prabhupada's family, one big family. And we have to always remind ourselves that this is Prabhupada's family. In an extended family, I know the cases in India, in Africa, also in South America. In extended families, people are proud of their uncles, their cousins, their second cousins, their grandfathers, their grandmothers. Because in America, it's different. But we are trying to cultivate or reposition our society based on the pivot of the Vedic culture. Vedic culture recognizes extended family units, extended family relations. Therefore, yes, you have a spiritual master, but understand that we have other branches of the family. We have the spiritual cousins, spiritual uncles, spiritual friends, spiritual brothers and sisters. And so there is a need for us to become more understanding that we can always gain something from each other when we come together to hear based on Krishna consciousness, based on the Vedic literature. So, essential factor is that we should learn something, we should hear something, and hear something about Krishna. We should exude that love, but we can't really give what we don't have. It is difficult to give what you don't have. Suppose, look, I'm a poor medical, okay? If you come to meet me, you need some, $100,000 to start a business. Where am I going to get it for you? I don't know. I don't know, man. So, we have to try to see that we are making ourselves available for this knowledge. Time does not wait for us. We're getting older, we're not getting younger. And therefore, if we ever want to be serious in our devotional life, we should start now. Because even young people can be very enthusiastic about devotional life, as well as old people. Anyone will be very much enthused about devotional life. But the enthusiasm comes also by repeated coming together to hear from each other. As soon as we neglect that aspect, even when we have deities, even when we have big deities at home, we need this sangha. But it's not about, worshiping your personal deity at home. You become dry at some point in time. Lord Chaitanya inaugurated this movement and is based on Sankirtan values. Coming together is based on that principle. Why? Because coming together to do one thing creates synergy. Our movement operates on the principle of synergy. Synergy means when 2 or 3 people come together to do one thing, the result is always greater than the individuals doing that same thing and bring the results of those individuals together. Do we get that point? That is why Lord Chaitanya introduced the Sankirtan movement, coming together. The principle that Lord Chaitanya introduced is the principle of synergy. If you Google on the web, synergy, you see so many research reports on synergy. Quantitative, qualitative, mixed methods used. So because sometimes we don't know what we are doing, and then we think that it's just some ritualistic ceremony. Okay, we come together for the Harana, okay, we come together for class. And then we feel we don't know what we are doing, and sometimes we feel we don't want to do that, and we say, oh, actually I'm sick. I can't go to class because I'm sick today. I can't go to the Harana because, Prabhu, I'm sick. But we should know, essentially, what we are doing. Then it gives us impetus to drive ourselves to move forward. It doesn't mean that we should not be concerned about our health care needs. Then, let's understand the principle that Krishna consciousness movement is based on coming together to spread Krishna's holiness. We may do every other thing very expertly, but if this very point is not being adhered to, we will have a depletion in our congregation of devotees. We will have a depletion in the number of devotees who are residing in our temple, aspiring to become brahmacharis or sannyasis. So when I came, I wanted to change that. Alan Prabhu sharing with me was this Harina that is going on here. And so I mentioned that this is a very wonderful arrangement that he has put in place, and he's personally piloting the whole program. He goes down with the devotees. But Prabhupada himself, when he came to New York, he went on a one-man squad Harina. And he made so many devotees right from that day. And therefore, Papa came to America based on this principle, making himself available for people to make inquiries, to render some service, to make some submissive inquiries. So, I'm very pleased that you feel free to make inquiries. And let us serve each other. Feel free to make inquiries. Let us serve each other. Appreciation of what we have begins with self-attitude. And so we can always learn something from someone. And if we don't have a good relationship amongst ourselves, then we are looking for something devastating, individually and collectively. Because if the love is there, then there is bonding. And if there is no love, then, man can just come and pray. If, brooms. You know brooms here? You have a bunch of brooms, tied together. It's finished. You can't break it. If you try to break it, you will hurt yourself. But if you remove one of those broomsticks, even a 1-year-old boy can just break it. That's what bonding creates. When there is bonding, then Maya cannot succeed in breaking us down. If we are living in a segregated community, then Maya penetrates and finds a way to knock on people's head. And she's very expert. And so, we understand that. Inquiries. And sometimes, there's also a need for us to appreciate Rupa Goswami's instruction about confidentiality. We have to have confidence. Until we come to that level, we have not started our devotional relationship. Because if we don't have someone to share our heart with, why we need to share? Why? Why should I not just bottle up everything to myself? Why should I need to share anything with anybody? For what? Huh? But look at it. Simple process. If you have a quote, what do you call it? You have foolscap sheets or quote A4 papers here. A4 size papers. What do you use for your printing? A4 size or what? A4. Okay, if you have an A4 sheet of paper, talking about sharing. If you have an A4 sheet of paper, your friend comes and he says, "Oh, Vasudev, can I have some paper to write an address that, this devotee wants to give to me?" So I tear the paper into two and give him half of it. I no longer have a full sheet of A4 size paper. What I have is half. In a similar way, if we share those traumatic experiences in our lives with our confidant or our loved ones, make sure we do not advertise it or we don't advocate it that you share your confidential dealings with someone who's going to take you on the street. It should be to a confidant, someone, a trusted loved one. And so our devotees must understand that the process of inquiry, the process of sharing, the process of service also involves a relationship that we should come to a level, to a leverage that we should be able to open our heart to our loved one. At least if we don't have any, our spiritual master should be the one that we should open up our hearts to. Then, amongst ourselves, we should also consolidate our relationships in such a way that we are able to share confidentially. We should strive to go to that ocean of confidentiality and be there. Dive deep there, you see that your life will never be the same. Because then you share your emotions with someone that it creates some, a depletion of that very negative emotion. It's just like you may have the best type of food. You may cook the best type of food, but if you eat it alone, it might be very juicy, very sweet. But suppose you have your friends, your loved ones with you, you're talking and you're eating and you're talking and sharing. Oh, that it adds a lot of spice to it. So, this is a very expansive network in terms of the relationship of the disciple and the devotee. It's not just something that we have to take for granted. And that is also based on the fact that we do have basic understanding that our communities need reinforcement. And that is by listening to our sadhus, to the spiritual master, and acting accordingly. I see, as I travel around, I've seen a number of devotees who are literally, they lost balance because of the fact that they're not deeply connected with anyone in the movement. So that deep connection is there. And it has to start with the family. The family is a microcosm of the community. Any comments or questions? That we did connect our pain, because men say addiction to Gyana. Gyana na tattva dash. Learn the truth. Learning is a lifelong process. Truth could be relative. We are talking, Krishna is talking about absolute truth. Any comments or questions? Thank you for coming. If there is no comments or questions, and we can adjourn this meeting. The bottom line is, please don't just come today. If we are gone, you should come to the temple. You should come together, hear from each other. Yes.
Your recommendation, which is a very essential point.
Huh?
It's a very essential point that you are making, that we should be able to reveal our mind with confidence. But somehow, we may see that, I'll use myself as an example, I may have revealed myself so many times to different places in confidence, only to find that you are saying it went out in the street. And therefore my confidence in terms of doing that,
You don't have trust.
how do I come again to that point?
Right. So, the point is, you have to study people. I mean, I was dealing with these similar cases when I was traveling to one country, and they are even the devotees involved in that type of, like misunderstanding, heavy one, really heavy one. Because someone reveals his mind to his brother, and then later he gets that same thing amongst other people. So he became completely devastated. And it's true. So study people before you stand them confident, your confidence. Study people first. Okay? You want before you gain ground to be able to open up to someone, study people. Study people. Your friends, study people. So that you don't become devastated. Because I know what happened. They take you to the streets, whoo, devastation. Sometimes it causes real fight. Yeah, I've seen them. And therefore, it is a reality that we should have confidence. But I mean, it's like you have a loved one. I mean, I'll give you an example. Sometimes my mentees, they tell me some things. Then I'm speaking to one of my secretaries. And then he or she says, so what did he say? I said, why do you want to know? Why do you want to know? The things you told me about your life, if I tell you somebody else, would you like it? He said, no. I said, so why do you want to know about someone's situation? Yeah, so some people, they cannot be recipients of confidential information. They take it to the street. I've seen that. But don't throw away the baby with the bathwater. Don't think you can love anybody, you can't trust anybody because someone did that to you. I mean, it's like somebody who says, well, I hate all men because this is what my ex did to me. Or I hate all women because this is what my ex did to me. You can't make that generalization. You are not experimented. You will only make a generalization when you have conducted an ethnographic quantitative research. Then you can generalize. If you have not done a quantitative ethnographic research, how can you generalize? No, it's not possible. So the point is, study people before you start. You open up small and see whether he's able to use it. Huh? If he's able to use it, and we an examiner is able to use it, you didn't take it to the street, then you can, further unveil. But be careful so that you don't lose faith in the system or in people. It happens to them. Yes, talk to me.
You mentioned that.
Can you talk a little bit because I'm not hearing you?
Yes. Sorry, thank you. You mentioned so many things.
Right.
You said that in our lives now there's a deficit in not hearing and sharing. I'll put an example that being out in the mature world, it becomes a people's person, so people hear you and by sharing. Now, the GBC told me that if I give you one flower for the deities, people give you $100, but he said give millions. You understand the point of it? So, your point of sharing and hearing. Outside it, I listen to people. I hear what they say. The hospital master, I hear what they say and they feel good, they would cry, and I share just the flower alone. Maharaj, over $100,000 came back in the temple. So you make up all the hearing and sharing. all the temperatures, man. He came and shared. He come to here and share Roma, everybody. Just keep it so much. Thank you, Mama.
Thank you. Yeah, caring,
Yeah.
sharing, but hearing.
Yeah.
If you hear something, for instance, you can always repeat it. Then you can repeat something also without understanding. And that is what I would call paratology. Paratology. A parrot is very good at learning and repeating. A parrot doesn't understand. So I call that paratology, and we don't encourage people to become paratologists. We want people to be able to ask, what is it to explore, not exploit. We want our devotees to explore, not exploit. In our relationships. I repeat, we want our devotees to explore, not exploit in our relationship. In other words, we should, a relationship like, Bhakti Vasudev told the prospective disciple, oh, it's a serious relationship. Study me, I'll study you. then we can go on to evaluate when to sign the contract. So, the point is, if I have something, say I have a family, I come back from work, my wife doesn't know how much money I'm even earning. Anytime she comes to tell me, I need this, the children need this, and I say, oh, why are you disturbing me? There's no money in this house, there's no money. They're not really paying me good money. But how much are you paying? Why do you want to know? It's a typical example of a case of deficit in sharing. Now, when you're acting like this, your wife is not going to trust you. Your children are not going to trust you. Surprisingly, a teenager was communicating with me recently, and she told me how much the family earns, the mother, the father, the combined resources. I was shocked.
You knew that?
Huh?
You knew that?
Yeah. This is called openness. So that nobody comes to make a demand that is beyond the resources of the family. Now, if you don't open up, then basically someone will come to make some, put in an application that is even more than the wages of the family. So sharing helps a lot. Not only to, reduce our traumatic effects, but it also creates a lot of regeneration in our relationship. And if we are not good listeners, then that is also a deficit in the relationship, because a lover must be a good listener. You don't say, what? Come on, you're wasting my time, I'm busy. Leave me alone. No. Some of our families are like that. And then the other point is, sometimes we think, we know it all. Either my way or no way. And if we are not integrating our thoughts properly and realigning with the common goal, Prabhupada has a vision. He has a statement of purpose. So his Prabhupada's vision, his statement of purpose of this movement, and his goals, if we walk in alignment with those three basic principles, we will always achieve success. And that same applies in our relationship. It applies in our family building or family development. And so it's a broad topic when we talk about inquiries, submission, service, which constitute the relationship between the guru and the disciple. Then those three elements also constitute the relative all of our relations. If you have a friend in need, they say it's a friend in need. A friend in need, if he doesn't understand your problems and is supporting you, how does he become a friend in need? If you don't share your problems for him to be able to support you, how will he ever become a friend in need? Therefore, sharing is very important. And caring, we can say we are very, affectionately disposed to someone when we don't really care. Yeah, look, perform an experiment about caring. Just call somebody you have not been able to reach or you have not seen for a couple of weeks. Call the person, and then, they say, yes, what can I do for you? Say, no, there's nothing. I just call you to find out how you and family are doing. Are you right? Because in the 21st century, people hardly call others. If I call you, maybe I want some donation from you. When I call you. Or I want some help from you. Then I call you. But if we really want to consolidate our relationships, we should extend ourselves to others. Love means sacrificing our convenience to please someone. If we are just about our convenience, that's not love, that's called expectation. And so sharing, hearing, caring, they are all part of the culture of love. And it is so important that when we care for someone, if we are caring for people, they will just voluntarily come. What can I do for you? What can I do for your temple? Yes, this place is getting, is worn out. Can I sponsor, fixing up this place? Can I do this? Can I do that? Even in your own homes, if you are so caring, the wife will go beyond her reach. She will stretch herself to do so many things without you asking for it. If there is caring, the husband will stretch himself to do so many things for the family. So we should just understand this simple thing that when we hear something, we should also try to live it. Live it means we implement what we have had in our social structure, in our individual lives. And there will be amazing transformations. Again, it's just a process of inquiries, submission, service. This is the nucleus of all relationships. It's not just guru-disciple relationship only. It's the nucleus of all relationships. Alright. Does that make some meaning, Prabhu? Alright. Any other comments or questions? Yes, another one?
Thank you for sharing.
Oh, thank you for thanking me. And you can beat me in this by saying back, thank you for thanking me for thanking you. Bye-bye.